Welcome to a brand new podcast brought to you by devotees of Sri Swami Vishwananda, coming to you once a week from Bellingham, Washington, on the beautiful Pacific Northwest coast. We want to welcome all our listeners from the Bhakti Marga North American communities and the world. This is our little contribution to bringing our brothers and sisters all a little closer together.
Om Ajnanati Mirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasme Shri Guruve Namaha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshvari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Ya Kundendu Tusarahara Davala Ya Subravastra Vrita Ya Vinavara Danda Mandita Kara Ya Shveta Padmasana Ya Brahmachuta Shankara Prabhiti Bir Deve Sada Vandita Samam Patu Sarasvati Bhagavati Buddhi Pradam Sharade Buddhi Pradam Sharade.
The first of the Dashavatar, or the 10 incarnations of Mahavishnu, as told in the Srimad Bagavatam. Parikshit then asked Sukha to relate to him in detail the Matsya Avatar of the Lord. Sukha said, "Whenever there is harm threatening the cows, the Brahmins, the Devas, or the good men, when there is a fear of destruction for Dharma or the Vedas or the world itself, the Lord then descends to the earth to protect them. At the end of the previous kalpa, Brahma went to sleep and the world became submerged under the waters. When Brahma was sleeping, an asura or a demon by the name of Hayagriva stole the Vedas from him. This asura then disappeared under the waters with the Vedas. The deluge, Mahapralaya, was Namitika, and it was a consequence of this pralaya that the world became completely submerged in the oceans. There was at that time a king by the name of Satyavrata who ruled the world. He was a saint among men, a great devotee of Narayan. At the end of the pralaya, when the world was recreated, King Satyavrata was born as the son of Vivashvat, one of the 12 Adityas, and the Manvantara was called by the name Vaivashvata Manvantara. Shradadeva was the name he was then given. One day, Satyavrata was performing his morning ablutions on the banks of the river Kritimala. When he had taken up the water in his cupped hands to offer arghya to the Pitris, or his ancestors, he found a tiny fish in the water held in his hands. He promptly dropped the fish in the river. The fish spoke in a human voice and said, "O king, have pity on me. I am so small, and I am afraid of the big fish in the river, the bigger fish which threaten to eat me up. Please take me away from these waters and protect me." The king was touched by the appeal in the voice of this fish, and taking it in his hand, he dropped it into his kamandalu, or his water pot, and he went home again. A night passed. The next morning, the fish said, "There is not enough space for me inside this vessel. Would you please place me in a wider place where I can move more freely?" The king placed it in a larger pot filled with water. Within the hour, the fish had outgrown that pot. Satyavrata then placed it in a pond, and the same thing happened. The fish complained that there was not enough space for it. The king kept on placing it in larger and larger areas filled with water, and yet the fish complained the same way, that it did not have enough space to move about. The king finally took it to the sea and dropped it there. The fish said, "The sea is full of sharks and whales, which will surely eat me up. Why did you bring me here?" Satyavrata smiled slightly and said, "You are a very strange fish. You can grow larger than a pond, which is 100 miles in length, and this has happened in an hour. I have never seen such a thing before. You are no ordinary fish. I know who you are. You are Lord Narayan, who has donned this form for some purpose which is not known to me. O Lord of Lords, I salute you. You are the refuge of all beings. When you take up a form, it is surely to protect helpless beings like me. Since you have revealed yourself to me, would you please tell me why you have assumed this form?" The Lord, in the form of the fish, then spoke to him and said, "You are right. I have taken this form with a purpose. 7 days from today, the 3 worlds will be submerged under the waters. Mahapralaya is coming. When the world goes completely under, you will see a boat which will be floating towards you. Be on the lookout for it, and when you see it, you will have to enter it. Collect all the oshadis, or the herbs, the medicinal herbs, and the seeds, and accompanied by the 7 rishis, you will take your place on the boat. There will be dead darkness all around you, but the glow of the tejas emanating from the rishis will guide you. You will be tossed here and there by the giant waves of an angry ocean, but do not be afraid. I will be in the waters. And when you see me, tie the boat to one of my horns with the help of Vasuki, who will serve you as a rope. I will play to my heart's content on the ocean for the duration of a single Brahma's night, and you will also be with me." The fish then vanished from the sight of the king. Satyavrata spread kusha grass on the ground and spent the next few days sitting on it and meditating incessantly on the Lord. On the 7th day he saw dark clouds enveloping the heavens, and the rains came. The earth was fast disappearing, and at a distance he saw the promised boat coming fast towards him. As he had been instructed, he entered the boat with the oshadis and the seeds of all the many plants. The 7 rishis were there with him too. They were repeating the names of the Lord, and they said, "Do not be afraid, O king. The Lord's name will tide us over this perilous journey." They were all singing the praises of the Lord when they could discern the form of an immense fish, golden in color. It came near. As he had been instructed, Satyavrata tied the boat to the horn of the fish. The boat was tossed about by the waves, and yet they were not afraid, since the Lord had taken them under his wing. The king saluted the Lord and said, "My Lord, it is with your grace that human beings who are tossed about in the world of ignorance attain salvation. You guide them into light out of darkness, and it is up to you to teach us the Atma Vidya, the knowledge which will make us realize ourselves as being one with you. Please teach me the secret of it. Teach me how to unravel the knots of ahamkara and mamakara which blind man into thinking that the maya which envelops him is true. Help us to break this veil to pieces and see ourselves as we truly are, one with you." In his infinite kindness, the Lord took it upon himself to teach Brahma Vidya to Satyavrata. He taught him about jnana, bhakti, and karma yogas. During the play of the Lord in the waters, Narayan, in the form of a fish, fought with Yasura Hayagriva and restored the Vedas to Brahma at the end of the pralaya. Satyavrata was born as Shradadeva, the son, S-O-N, of the sun, S-U-N, Vivashvat, and became the Manu for the Manvantara, which is Vaivasvata Manvantara. Swami Vishwananda says in his commentary of the Srimad Bagavatam, "The Vedas are not a human writing. Vedavyasa compiled them, but the Vedas are from Narayan himself. The Vedas are eternal. They have no beginning or end. The Vedas always existed and always will exist." We also pray to Mahavishnu in the form of Hayagriva during Hayagriva Jayanti. Bhagavan took the form of a fish, Matsya Avatar, to kill Hayagriva. As Hayagriva had stolen the Vedas from Brahma, he had the knowledge of the Vedas, so he pleaded with Matsya Avatar, "Please forgive me. I take shelter at your feet. Have mercy upon me." At that moment, Lord Narayan blessed him and said, "Due to your act, I have to kill you. But as you have surrendered to me, you will also be considered as one of my incarnations." So this is how Hayagrava, the manifestation of the Lord with a horse head, became worshipped by the Vaishnavas as a great teacher who bestows proficiency in knowledge. It's like the Dakshinamurti aspect of Shiva. Then, after the Pralaya, the Lord, in the form of Hayagrava, returned the Vedas back to Brahma. This story is similar to the Bible story of Noah's Ark. Here you see that all holy scriptures speak of similar things, but in different ways and with different words. The stories have been twisted and the names have been changed, but all the scriptures show us that since the beginning of creation, everyone, even the devas, are looking for eternal happiness, Satchidananda. However, one will not find this eternal happiness while the mind dwells on the outside reality. One will find this eternal happiness only when one has pure devotion to the Lord, to Bhagavan, to God. It doesn't matter which form or which name you take. As long as you have devotion and faith, as long as your action is righteous and your mind is free from pride, you will attain him. And Bhagavan said that you don't need many lives to attain him. You need only one life, this life. Forget about all the past lives you have had that you don't remember. Forget all about the future lives that you will take because you can end everything in this life. So don't create any illusion for the future, because what stops one from attaining the ultimate goal of life is oneself. When we say, remember God, it's so simple. When we say, become a bhakta, surrender to him, what do you say? When will I become a bhakta? When will I surrender to him? It's too difficult, it's too far away. Don't you? You make your own barrier by saying you can't. It's not that you can't, because you can. The purpose of your sadhana is to bring you closer to the divine. If it is not today, it should be tomorrow. Don't stop yourself. Let him reveal himself, and be determined. In the morning when you wake up, say, I will see him today. And if you've not seen him today, humble yourself. For sure you have done something, quote, bad, and that's why he has not revealed himself to you. Humble yourself. It is only through humility that he will reveal himself. He will not reveal himself when you say very proudly, I can do this, I can do that, and I can do that. What can you do? Nothing. If he doesn't will it, you will never be able to do anything. It is only by being humble that he will reveal himself to you. The next day, try again. It's not wrong to say that you are nothing. Goswami Tulsidas also said, I am the greatest sinner of all. I don't know why Ramji has given this task to me to write the Ramcharitamanas. Many saints say, I am the greatest sinner, to keep themselves humble. They are not just saying it, they mean it. That's why God comes to them, because they humble themselves. They push themselves down. So if they go down, Bhagavan will come and push them up. But if you are already up, how will he raise you up? Arrogance will not lead you anywhere. He will give himself to you only when you are humble. The Bagavatam is so big and has so many stories inside. And all the stories are beautiful, but most of them teach the path of bhakti, how to reach Narayan. If you take any one of them and you practice it, you will get there. But you have to practice and you have to make your effort. Grace is not easily given. Only when you make the effort will you earn this grace. Jai Gurudev.